So we're back here now with a assembly that's fully notched, and as you can see, it's notched as if we did this on a saw or we used a hole saw. This is how that notch would look. But because we are not going to be cutting it with this curvature here, we're going to be cutting it as if the laser is always looking down on the outside of the tube, and as it rotates, it's going to be cutting. So we're going to get what's called a normalized cut, or a perpendicular cut to the surface. So in order to do that, there's a process that in SolidWorks is fairly simple, and you just have to follow it. So the first thing is let's go ahead and pull this first tube in. And because these are all different parts, we can open this one up individually. Okay, so here it is. And at the part level, most likely your default view settings will show you all these planes, so I like to hide them. So the first and foremost step is I actually set everything up as keys on my keyboard, but for the sake of this video so you can see where these items are, I'm going to go into the Surfaces tab up here. If you do not have your Surfaces tab, you can right click, go to Tabs, and you can click Surfaces right here, so Surfaces appear. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click the outside, hold Control, and the inside. I'm then going to right click and do Selection Tools, Invert Selection. So what that's going to do is it's going to select everything other than the inside and outside. So why did I even do that? Because if I did it this way, I'd have to go in here and select each one of these walls inside of these etch marks. So it's important to just make it easy. I can just click, boom, the outside, the inside, invert, and then I know everything is selected that's not the inside and outside. So at this point, now I can hit delete face. This is not the same as the delete key. The delete key is delete body by default. Delete face is this one right here. So delete face. And you're going to notice over here, the most important thing on this page, this is showing all these features. So most of these faces are probably these little faces, every single one of these faces inside the etch mark, okay? But you do not want to do delete and patch. You want to do just delete. If you put on delete and patch, this process will fail in the next step. So make sure this is on delete. This is very important. Okay, so now we're left with just the outside and the inside. The next item we're going to do is we're going to do a ruled surface. So we're going to click that. We're going to click the inside edge. You can see it's kind of pointing inward. I'm going to flip it around, and I'm just going to make sure it extends past. It is important right here to do normal to surface, which is the same as perpendicular to surface, which is how the laser is going to be cutting. I'm going to go to the other side. This is a feature where we can do both sides at once. Okay, excellent. And I'm going to make sure that trim and knit and connecting surfaces is unchecked. Make sure these are unchecked. If trim and knit isn't there, you won't even notice it, and it's not going to work. So make sure that this is unchecked. So now what I've done is I've created essentially like a template to cut my outer surface. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click right here, Trim Surface. Okay, my trim tool is going to be the surface I just made, and I want to keep this side of the body. So when I hit check, everything to the left side is going to go away. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing the other side. This is one of those features where you can only do it one section at a time. So Trim Surface, click the tool, click the surface is what I want to keep. Alright, great, now I have it trimmed. Now, for whatever reason, SolidWorks is very convenient and always puts the outside surface at the bottom when you do this. I don't know why, I don't know what's driving this, but I'm always found out that I just highlight all the surfaces that are above, and now I hit the delete key. I'm deleting these surface bodies. So the delete key on my keyboard. So I hit delete, delete bodies, hit check. I'm left with just my outside surface. That's it. So if I roll back up, I have my inside, I have my ends, and now I delete, I am left with just my outside surface. And for whatever reason, like I said, always the last one in the surface column on the feature tree is the outside surface. I don't know why, but it is very convenient. So here we are with our outside surface. That is trimmed. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do thicken. So right here where it says thicken, we're going to type in the thickness of the tube. So at this point we need to make sure that we're thickening it to what the original model was, because we notched it using a certain thickness. Therefore we need to make sure that we re-thicken it back to what we had it originally, so it's 120 wall. Merge result doesn't matter because this is a surface body and we're not combining surfaces even on the bent tube. So you can check this if you want, but it's not going to make a difference. So hit OK. And now we have our tube back. You can see it's all nicely normalized. Very cool. So the one downside to what happens when you do this is that it does make the text go all the way through. So now, if you were to send this file in, now it's going to want to cut it. We usually catch it, but in order to guarantee that your parts are correct, we recommend you send it to us already ready to go. So the way we're going to fix this is I can just go in here and create a plane on that point in line. And then I'm going to sketch on there, and I'm just going to convert entities this bottom line down here. And even though when we convert entities, the vertexes are black, you can actually kind of drag them out and they turn blue. I'm going to do it a couple times. And so now we're just making sure we're extending past the text. I'm going to exit the sketch and then extrude. I'm going to make sure it goes past. I can go both directions if I want. And I just want to make sure I don't make it to the outside surface. So I know this is 120. I can do 0.11 if I want to. It doesn't matter as long as I don't break the inside surface. So now you can see I'm back to what the machine will see as an etch because the inside's not broken, but the outside is broken. So now that's going to become an etch. We usually catch it, but it's best that you send it to us already ready to go, as it's going to be a lot less headache if you already send us the model ready to be recognized as an etch. So now when I save this and I go back to the part file, now we're going to see this guy already normalized with the part number and fitting exactly how it's going to fit in real life. Pretty cool, and this is super important because now what you see here is what it's going to look like when you put it together. If you had sent it to us before normalizing, our machine would automatically normalize it and it would come out like this, but then you would not have the intention of knowing exactly what you would be getting. You'd think you'd have sharp corners that you'd have to grind down. It's best to normalize a tube so that you can see in the CAD model exactly what you're going to be getting.